Some of you are under the impression that you can just make whatever amount of money you see other people making on the internet when it comes to being a field inspector. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Suppose you are researching to become an inspector. Okay. And at the same time, you see people who are saying how much they're making per inspection. So in your mind, you're thinking, well, that sounds good to me. I'm going to start doing it too so that I can make the money too. And then once you get started with a company, you realize real quick that they are not paying you the same amount of money that that person online was making. And then you're thinking to yourself, now either they were capping, either they were just saying some stuff and that ain't what they were really making, or something's just not right, but turns out this ain't for me. I am not pulling enough money. Okay, well, we're going to get to the bottom of why this is actually happening. And I decided to do this today because it's a comment that I needed to address. And even though I've addressed it in the comment section, I think that this would be a very good thing to talk about as far as the new inspectors or those who are hopeful in becoming an inspector, so you can understand exactly how this thing works. Okay, so basically the comment went as such: JMI report pays $9.50 per report in exterior and $16 per report interior, and that's a fact. First off, don't holler at me. All right. So now that we got that portion out the way, please explain how you telling people $150 to $350 per day. Tell them how many reports they need to do. Okay. So I've already addressed that. So I'm just making sure that the new people coming understand what's going on. JMI Reports is, of course, a contract company, just like all the rest of them out there. And this person is under the impression, and apparently I don't know where the fact came from because it couldn't be further from the truth, but they're under the impression that JMI Reports pays $9.50 per report for exterior and only $16 around the board, okay, for all states. And that's a fact. That is not a fact, okay? Let me explain how this works. These contract companies still pay just as if you was working a 9 to 5 when it comes to your cost of living. If you're living in New York somewhere, some huge metropolitan place like that, and you're working for JMI Reports, they are not going to pay you the same amount per inspection that they would pay you if you worked and lived in Tennessee or Mississippi somewhere. It don't work like that. They are going to still pay you per your cost of living. They're going to make sure they pay you just enough to get you over your cost of living. And I know that to be a fact. Here in California, for interior, most of the time it's around $35. And that's for the slightest of inspection to go inside. I don't even know where the 16 came from, but I know for a fact that that is not how they do it here, okay? And I'm pretty sure there are some people who are going to be watching this video who are going to be able to explain the same thing, because this is not all just about JMI, okay? This video is to let everybody know who don't know, not you old heads like me who's been doing field inspection, and you already know how this works. This is for new people, so they come in and won't be thinking that they're going to be making the same thing. You can see somebody make a video and say, I ain't working for them. That's why, you know what? That's why I like to always tell you guys, make sure now that you do your own thorough research and you know for a fact what it is that you are looking at. You know that when you start working for a company, you know exactly how much fee they are going to charge you to provide this service for them. Make sure you know these things. Don't let what you hear someone else say get in your ear and have you thinking that you won't make no money. Because suppose you're watching a video with someone and they say, I don't like working for them. They don't pay no money. They ain't paying but like $10. Okay, so now you skip all over that company. Oh, I heard they don't pay. But this person, okay, may live in the outskirts in a rural area of Alabama somewhere, and you in Dallas, Fort Worth somewhere. You're in a whole nother environment. You're in a place that is completely different from them. that same company, if they are hiring in your area, they are going to pay you more than what they're paying those people who live in the outskirts, in the boonies of Alabama. Don't let what you hear someone else say they're making deter you from trying to sign up for companies that you know that you probably want to work for. Because once again, this right here is a prime example of what I mean by when people get their facts screwed up. Because this definitely is not a fact, okay? So please explain how these people are making this money. All right. So let's just say, for just the sake of the video, in the comment, it's $16 an hour for an interior, okay? They're paying you, any company is paying you $16 an hour per report, not per hour, because we're doing contract, per report to do an inspection on the interior of some buildings or whatever, okay? You'd have to do at least 10 in that day to make $160. 10 inspections, all right? But those 10 inspections still got you over the $150 mark. And you're not working a 9-to-5 job, regardless. Because some of you guys don't realize how good you got it to not have to clock in. So I'm going to break it down, okay? So you're still getting paid to do the work of 10 inspections. If you set your schedule right, if you set your route right to where you can get where you need to go and handle your business and don't be running around in circles for that day, at $16 an inspection, interior, you can't be doing no more than taking a picture of a plumbing. You can't be at $16. Do you know how fast you can do 10 inspections in a day? That is not an 8-hour shift. That is not a 5-hour shift. You may be done and back home in 4 hours with 10 inspections. It could be quicker than that. And you've already made $160 in that day. So if, let's say, you stayed out for 5 and 6 hours, doing something as simple as that, surely you can pull those 10 inspections, right? I know you can. But who wants to stay out that long? If you set your schedule right, you can definitely get those things done and be home in a 4-hour notch. And you still will have pulled $160. Some of you guys don't pull $160 in a day sitting at a 9-to-5 job. So let's just talk about that. Because this is not $16 an hour. This is $16 a stop. All right. So now let's say, for instance, you're in California, where I am, okay? Facts. And you're being paid $35 to just simply go in and do 1 or 2 things that come out of a person's home. Now we've jumped the gun, right? So at $35 an hour, if you do 5, and that's it, 5, run in and out of 5 places, you have already reached $175. If you do 10, you have reached, what's the magic number? $350. Some of you guys need to do thorough research, okay? And you know what? I appreciate all comments, any and all comments, the good comments, the bad comments, all of them, because that still shows YouTube that you are being a participant of my channel. In case you didn't know that. And I do appreciate all of the thumbs up and all of the thumbs down, because even though you may be trying to do something negative, YouTube look at it as something positive. So either way it go, it is what it is. But just please try to refrain from coming over here on my channel and yelling at me. Okay? Don't let the smile. Well, anyway, don't do it. Okay? And make sure you get your facts before you come over here, okay? Because first of all I'm here to do is to help people to get in on this if that's what they want to do, to make them feel comfortable, to keep them from working off motivation and instead work off of determination, and know that when they get out here and start doing this work that they can do it with confidence. That's the only thing I'm doing. I ain't doing nothing no different than that. Just to make sure that people know that they know what they're doing when they're out here. Okay? Speaking of that, I have new shirts on sale. It is hot out here. It is hot and humid as hell out here. And if you want tees, you can wear tees as long as they're professional and you don't got no graphics and stuff going on, and it's very clean, and you can tuck them in and look all cute and comfy with your little slip-in shoes or whatever, however you guys and what you guys are wearing and all that good stuff. Okay, so I got them over there on demonshell.com. Go over there and check them out. A lot of them have matching hats too to cover your heads from this summer heat. Okay, so go over there and check that out, demonshell.com. Anyway, before I go, one more thing. Anybody who wants to be a part of this sort of work, please feel free to jump in on this work without letting people get in your ear. Do your own research, okay? Don't let, cause somebody did that without thinking. Cause I've been doing this way long enough to know better than that comment. I was blown, and that's fact. Okay. Anyway, you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, because I'll be bringing you back something later. Thank you so much for being a part of everything that I do over here. I wish all of you the best of luck. Enjoy the rest of your day.